Joining us now with stories trending around the world. Should I say what I said?
Say what you said. Say it.
It's been by putting here. You're welcome.
You can finish it.
Let me help Dr. Bati. Dr. Bati was admiring your fashion sense. He said you looked really lovely.
That's not what he said.
Please, can you tell me how I counted it? Can you tell me how I counted it?
Go ahead. You just lied. That's not what he said. You are supposed to be a pastor, but you just lied.
No,
Diplomatic is lying.
No.
You just lied just now. So let's just move on.
I studied international relations. Diplomacy is my language.
He's lying. You lied just now. Can you tell us what he said verbatim?
I'm not there.
Please go ahead.
She gave us a fresh perspective on
lie
the
just now. How will you lie?
All right, let's kick off what's trending now. And of course, the biggest story in Nigeria right now. On Monday morning, protesters converged at the entrance of the National Assembly in Abuja for the Occupy National Assembly, or Occupy NASS 2026 protest, to demand the inclusion of real-time electronic transmission of results in electoral reforms. Now, there was a heavy security presence at the scene with personnel drawn from the Nigeria Police Force, the Nigerian Army, and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The African Democratic Congress chieftain, Peter Obi, joined the protest along with other members of ADC alongside civil society organizations. Now, the protest was palpably vibrant as citizens added their voices to the campaign for real-time electronic transmission. Let's take a look.
Our electoral process must be transparent. Our electoral process must be free and fair. Answer His Excellency. If you want to answer distinguished, if you want to answer honorable, the process through which you come into office must be honorable, it must be distinguished, and it must be excellent.
I will advise you, if you think network is the problem, money day, go and collaborate with Elon Musk. Make Elon Musk give you Starlink. Sure you get. Okay, if you can't look and say Elon Musk no be Nigeria, maybe he go cheat you. Go and meet those bandits where they operate for inside that bush. Which network they say they operate. So if bandits can operate with network and ask for ransom conveniently from any location they are inside this country, so the government, the National Assembly, or Mrs. Akpabio himself or herself does not have any right to be giving network as an excuse. This is 2026. We are not in 1952.
They even carried mattress to the protest ground. Well, during the protest, there were concerns that thugs were gathering to hijack the protest. And this video of Precious Oruche, better known as Mama P, confronting suspected thugs and instructing them to remove obedient t-shirts has gone viral.
Give me my shirt! Give me! Give me the shirt! Don't tell me that! Give me the shirt! Give me! Oh! Give me!
They will wear this thing now, go and cause fight. Okay. They will wear this thing now, go and fight. And they will say he's obedient. Hey! They will wear it now, go and cause fight. Go and fight, they will say he's obedient.
Why don't you give them the shirt? Why don't you give them the
Well, so much activity taking place at the protest ground, Rufai. I know we've unpacked a lot of the issues already around the real-time electronic transmission. We also have visuals from today, because the protest continues. Today, I believe Rotimi Amechi has also joined the protest outside the National Assembly, and the senators will be meeting for the emergency plenary as well.
So you want to react to that guy's video?
Or whichever floats your
You see,
yeah.
As sarcastic and interesting as what that guy said, he's actually correct. So for those that make the argument in the remotest areas, for the love of mercy, how do bandits share videos from the bush on TikTok and on Facebook? And the videos they share takes more than the 700 kilobytes you will need to be able to broadcast election results. And that's why he has been sarcastic, and it's an indictment to all of us. And it's just to make us look very logical. Those that make the argument that not every area has network. But bandits in the book are sharing videos that are more than the 700 kilobytes you will need. So how do they do it? So it shows us that the argument falls flat on its feet. Secondly, I think I've raised most of the points. These politicians always have something. You Nigerians see. You might not have the money to pay consultants, but as we speak today, the politicians have paid consultants to be able to help them look through areas that will favor them. It is for you to be alert. Like I said, even if they agree and say, okay, let's do it, even when they sign it into law, I don't still trust them. There is no thing that will make me trust them in that Senate for anything. And that's why Nigerians should be alert. Even when they sign it into law, once they sign it, if they sign it into law, go back and check. They must have found a lacuna that will work in their favor. Nigeria will surprise you. Nigeria will humble you. Did Nigeria humble our very good friend Mike Igini that came to bet on the electoral process that said he was... Didn't Nigeria humble our very good friend that used to call APC's anti-rigging vaccine IREV? Till today, can they still come? Did Nigeria humble them? Because while we were busy thinking we have gotten everything right, politicians were still looking for lacuna. So as we speak today, they are paying consultants. Okay. They are combing everything. Nigerians' eternal vigilance. People that are looking at you, you can never know what's on their mind because they are looking at you. You are not suspicious of them. Let's be suspicious of these politicians.
And as we round up this issue, Ayo, I know earlier you'd made a point around the fact that there was relative safety. So we saw there were suspected thugs who were trying to hijack. But the point was made that so we can actually have protests that doesn't get hijacked by thugs.
And where the security agents can be civil to the protesters. They did prevent them from entering the NASS complex. But in fairness to them, they according to someone who was on the protest ground, he mentioned that they were very civil. They engaged, in a very respectable manner to the protesters and didn't harass them in any way. So I wanted to talk about that because oftentimes, like you've mentioned, we've seen peaceful protests. If it's not being hijacked by thugs, even the security agents themselves are a bit hostile to them. Yes, there was no hostility from the security agents. But I think there was a very good article written still broadly on the electoral amendment bill being considered by the Senate. It was a very instructive piece wrote by Olisagbako by SAN on his post on the social media platform today, in the early hours of today, where he talked about restoring the confidence of the electorate in the voting process, in the electoral process. And chief amongst this, I don't know why we're not talking about this, because a lot of us are just, looking at, so that in the courts, yes, that's important. The legality of it is important, but also the fact that the people can trust the process and whatever the National Assembly can do to ensure that the process is transparent, is credible, Nigerians can come out confidently to know that at least their votes will count, not the court to decide, let them do it.
All right. Dr. Abati, I come to you for our next story, which is extremely concerning. Again, as we talk about the ability of bandits and terrorists to be able to upload these horrific videos of their activities, a disturbing video making the rounds online shows 4 kidnapped women being subjected to horrific abuse by suspected terrorists. In the footage, one of the armed men is seen using the muzzle of an AK-47 rifle to repeatedly strike the women on the forehead after ordering them to remove their hijabs. Now, of course, the video is of a very sensitive nature. Viewers' discretion is advised, but we won't play the full video. The women, visibly traumatized and in severe pain, endure the assault in silence as the blows continue. And one of the victims could no longer bear the pain and burst into tears. A voice is heard in the background of the video speaking in Hausa, saying, "Leave it, it's okay." Unfortunately, this did not stop the assault. Now, in another development, armed bandits attacked Koro community in Ekiti local government area of Kwara state on Sunday, killing one forest guard identified as Samuel Abimbola. According to sources, forest guards in Koro had reportedly received intelligence about a potential attack by armed bandits, but the operatives were ambushed. In a post on X, presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga expressed his condolences. As he wrote, "Some Nigerians are paying the supreme price to keep all of us safe. May Abimbola's soul rest in peace." However, this tweet was met with anger. Here is one reaction. Samuel tweeted, "That's the painful truth. The people paying the supreme price are rarely those making the decisions, soldiers, volunteers, citizens, while politicians stay insulated from consequences. When sacrifice is one-sided, something is broken. Honoring Abimbola means more than words. It means asking why the burden of safety keeps falling on the same people, while those in power remain untouched and unaccountable." When you look at some of the reactions to the tweet from Bayo Nanuga, which I think was said in good spirits, he was paying his condolences, but people were saying, condolences, condolences, condolences. We want to see more. And if you're in opposition, they felt that if he had been an opposition leader, he would have added more flesh to the post.
Because he did that so well against the likes of Obasanjo in the early 2000s when he was still head of a newspaper.
Well,
let's hear Dr. Batista.
Insecurity remains a major problem in Nigeria. And it is not surprising that the president, speaking at the second national conference of the NEC, that's the National Economic Council, made the point that, yes, we will overcome. And I said earlier this morning that, that's what he's supposed to say, to give people hope. And to say, we are, adopting some forms of mechanization in parts of the country to make sure that we tackle this challenge. Well, it's not enough to give the people hope. What is more important is for the people to begin to see concrete progress, particularly now that Nigeria is entering into partnerships, collaboration, cooperation with other countries, including the United States, including Turkey, and perhaps almost definitely, security cooperation will still come up when the president embarks on the state visit that has been announced to the United Kingdom in March. However, the video that you showed, really very disturbing, a clear demonstration of man's inhumanity to man and the brutality of those who do not want Nigeria to progress and who have turned themselves into agents of terror, destabilization, and devastation. Now, in the full video itself, that man who was holding the AK-47 was hitting these innocent, helpless, women on the head in a very callous manner. And that's, is just a graphic illustration of the extent of inhumanity that some elements, some criminals in our society will go. The surprising thing is that they even have the audacity to do the video and then broadcast it on particular channels. And some people will also take these videos and distribute. I thought in the age of AI and advanced technology, there's something about tracking the footprint of what is posted and, even trying to know the location. But the Nigerian state has not been able to act optimally, convincingly, in terms of deploying enough technology to track down these elements who give our country a bad name and a bad image. As for the gentleman, Mr. Afolabi, who died as a forest guard in Kwara, again, that's unfortunate, because, it was only recently that the president directed that more forest guards should be recruited and that they should also be given arms so that, they can complement the efforts of both the military and also the police. And then, of course, they have become people too who have to pay the ultimate sacrifice. This particular gentleman, he still has a mother, he has a wife, he has young children, and then now, he has had to die in an effort, to do the assignment that he has taken. Well, I don't know this thing about the length of the press release, but the issue simply is that no Nigerian should lose his or her life or be subjected to any degree of inhumanity and indignity just because they are citizens and just because they live in this environment called Nigeria. We hear it's an asymmetrical war, but it's a battle that Nigeria must win. It's not a struggle that can be abandoned. It is not enough to say we will overcome. When the Nigerian people gain victory over criminal elements in this environment, we will see the evidence, and it will be the evidence of our eyes.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of seeing the evidence of the win against the win in the fight against insecurity, of course, the First Lady has come on the spotlight as the First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu has gone viral following an interview she granted to Fox News Digital whilst in the United States. In the video, she speaks on how she has gained global recognition. She also makes reference to American intervention in Nigeria's security issues as a blessing and dismissed heightened narratives around insecurity in Nigeria as pre-election rhetoric.
Trump recognized me. Who would have thought that would happen, to even say the least? So when you look at that, you know, I'm getting global recognition in all of it, you know, despite, and that is what life is all about. If something is going to be good, it will come from, you know, the rebels, you know, and it starts like that. And then we have that attention, we have the conversation going, and we expect, you know, there will be more, you know, it's going to yield a better fruit for us. We live in Nigeria. We know that, you know, this is a democracy, and we are getting close to re-election, and there will be a lot of potholes of the beliefs they want the outside world to know. And we can see that with this government, we just out of a lot of economic crisis that we inherited, because this is the first time the government of Nigeria will remove fuel subsidy. We were producing oil, but we were not refining them. So now Nigeria, we have refined products, and we're not importing fuel like before. So our exchange rates are stabilizing. The country is moving forward. We're trying to make sure that insecurity we can tackle.
Well, in a related development, while this was happening, American talk show host Tony Perkins has said that he actually declined the Nigerian First Lady's request for an interview during her time in Washington. Here's what he had to say.
And then you have a situation like in Nigeria, where more Christians have been killed there than anywhere else in the world. And you have a government in Nigeria that practices denial, a culture of denial. No, nothing to see here. They even hired DCI, a big firm here in DC.
The First Lady was here. She was here this week,
yeah.
And in fact, they wanted to come on the program to talk about religious freedom. And I said, I'm not going to give them. I'm happy to meet with anybody.
Same here.
But I'm not going to give them a platform to cover up what they're doing in Nigeria.
And that's just what it is, a mess.
All right. Well, this conversation was during an interview with U.S. Congressman Chris Smith, and of course, we know Chris Smith has been on the front burner with regards to issues pertaining to insecurity in Nigeria. So it was also on a program called the Washington Watch. And just for context, this program covers Washington news from a conservative Christian's perspective. So it's a nuanced conversation. Ayo.
Okay. All right, interesting. I was like, been by. But I mean,
what's happening in American media?
Yes, what's happening in American media. But first of all, earlier on, we had talked about the importance of the role of soft power in diplomacy, which it seems like the First Lady is wielding on her trip to the United States of America. In fairness to her, she has spoken very well, and I wouldn't have expected her to say any differently. I don't expect her to say, well, things are really bad, save us. She has gone out to talk about the efforts and breaking it down with numbers, with figures, the efforts that her husband is making as president to fight terrorism and to downplay Christian genocide, saying that it is, it's across all religious sects. It is, in fact, almost politicizing it in some instance by saying that election is coming, and so the opposition is coming out with news around this. While I think it's important for Nigeria to have the right for people to have the right perspective about Nigeria, and brand and imaging is very important, especially as we interface with other countries in the world. I also believe that it's important to ensure that whilst we are coloring us out there, let us fix the real issues back home. We might not go on the global stage and talk about our problems. They always say that keep the family issues, keep family problems within the family. But it's important that while she's granting these interviews, that they're also working very hard to fight insecurity here in Nigeria and doing it so in a way that Nigerians can feel the impact of it. I also asked the question earlier, and around the role of the First Lady, the fact that it's not in the Constitution, provided for in the Constitution. I say this because, and people say, oh, anybody can speak about Nigeria, but for you to for that to be authority, there has to be an official spokesperson. We can't just run a nation anyhow. Anybody goes on an interview and speaks about the country. As a wife of the president, yes, she can speak about her husband's achievements, but speaking on behalf of the nation, there's no constitutional provision for that. So while she's, wielding soft power diplomacy, as we've seen in the instance of first ladies in other countries, especially in America, Eleanor Roosevelt, Hillary Clinton, they had limits to the extent of what they could speak about, especially when it had to do with real issues or core issues around insecurity, security, and foreign relations. I just wanted to put that point out there so that there's also structure and there's legality to what we're doing. She can speak about it, but in terms of the authority backing it, she's not constitutionally recognized. And so she can speak in her personal capacity as a Nigerian first, as for her husband. But but when it comes to limits, there also has to be limits because we have to do things properly.
And very quickly, I know we need to move on to our next story. Rufai, these platforms, Fox News Digital, Washington Watch, are these the platforms you think Donald Trump pays attention to? Because we do know that Donald Trump has people in the media that he pays attention to.
I mean, see, the booking was appalling. You see, I don't know, you want to put gloss on everything, that's your own problem. Me, I'm a hard hitter, I was speaking the way. The booking was appalling. First Lady of Nigeria can't even get on Hannity's show. I mean, we watch the conservative circle now. If you are not on Hannity's show, if you are not on Jason Wetter's show, if you are not on Fox and Friends, you can't even make it to OAN, you can't even make it to Newsmax. I mean, those are the places people are watching on conservative voices now. You can't even make it to Fox Radio, it's Fox Digital, for that matter. In fact, this is the first time I'm hearing Washington Conservative, an obscure conservative platform is even bragging.
But the congressman is there.
No, an obscure conservative platform is even bragging. You can't compare what they have to what's it called now, Fox Primetime. An obscure conservative platform is even bragging that they deplatformed the First Lady of the country, and we're just looking at it and we're laughing. You can't even make it to Fox Nation. Even if it's Fox Nation, okay, that's the official streaming site. So, see, the booking and the narrative landing was bad. And it also shows that with all the lobbyists they are paying, lobbyists is not doing a good job. Me, I will sack my lobbyist if I'm the First Lady and I'm coming to come and talk, and my lobbyists cannot even get me on the top conservative platforms across the country. Then there's a problem. So I think they should go and look at this, their lobbyists they are paying again. But the part I agree is that let's not forget the most important thing. You see, you can go and talk from today till thy kingdom come in America and all of that about this. If it's not solving the killings at home, then look at the argument she's making. It's not only Christians, not only this, not only that. But people are dying.
Yeah, that's it.
That's just it. Yeah. People are dying in their numbers. Would you bring back their souls? Yeah. And as regards that forest guard, my commiserations to him, the question I want to ask is, hope there's insurance for his family. Because that would be a pity. So I want to know the insurance package for these forest guards. How much did they give to their family in the event where they lost their lives? Because I don't want a case where his family will be thrown into chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think...
Just two asides.
Yes.
This will talk about First Lady. Yes, there's no official position for a First Lady. But what we are seeing on this trip, in the context of soft power diplomacy, is that Mrs. Remi Tinubu, apart from being a First Lady, is first and foremost a citizen, and second, she's also recognized as a politician. She's been a ranking member of the Senate of the Federal Republic. So can a senator of the Federal Republic, whether she's the wife or not the wife of the president, speak about issues in Nigeria? So in that regard, all this talk about she doesn't have authority, she has personal authority in terms of her own individual experience. Even if, as I always say, she's been very supportive. I think her husband will be very glad that she has a wife too, who can stand up as a citizen and speak. So that's the other way to look at it.
Absolutely.
As for Perkins, the man, Washington Watch, you call it. Yes, two-time Emmy winner, right? But don't forget that he started his career as a broadcast journalist after having spent some time as a stand-up comedian. So if, he introduces a comedic angle to his conversation, that will not be surprising at all. And as for Fox News Digital, it has a viewership of over 94 million people. And there have been, in the rating cards, times when it even got more eyeballs than even ABC and CBS. That's what the analysts say.
I think the joy of this table and, us converging every morning is that we get a different taste of all the different angles and all the balanced views. So it's now up to you, the viewers, to decide what your take is. Now, let's take a look at another development. As a new video circulating online shows the light-hearted moment when Aminu Tambuwal, a former Sokoto state governor and current senator, refuses the request of Abdullahi Ganduje, the former APC national chairman, to sit in front of an APC flag during a meeting. In the clip, which began circulating this weekend, Tambuwal and Ganduje openly joke with one another as Tambuwal points at the APC flag to defend why he won't sit there. Let's take a look. See, don't kill yourselves on social media because they are all enjoying their own company. In another video as well.
What was that phrase again? Don't die.
Don't die in their war. Also, just to bring it all together, in another video that's been trending on social media, shows popular lawyer and activist Deji Adeyanju rejecting wearing a cap branded with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's insignia during an event in Delta State. In the clip, the fashion entrepreneur Sheyi Vodi, who shared the video, wears one of the caps and offers one to Adeyanju, who quickly pushes it away. Let's watch. So, of course, both of these clips have sparked widespread reactions online, as both show the ways in which APC is doing its evangelism, if I may call it that, while also showing how opposition parties, when it comes to these political class levels, they fraternize quite freely behind the scenes. I'll come to you, Dr. Abati, because you're smiling.
No. Humor is part of politics.
Yeah.
But the other thing also is about principle, it's about consistency. We all know Deji Adeyanju as an activist and all of that. But the sad story of Nigeria is that many of present-day leaders, rulers, they start as radicals and activists, but they end up as power brokers. So Deji Adeyanju, well, while this may entertain a lot of people and titillate them to no end, you should know that, what is that phrase? The internet never forgets.
Are you saying you'll collect the cap later?
Well, because tomorrow, if it decides to come with the cap, as some people have done, Nigerians would have this record, to show to him and say, you once rejected this same cap.
It has happened before.
But that is why. But it may not happen in his own case. So that's why I say, the underside of it. No. We can't be categorical. He hasn't done it. Yeah. But principle, character, consistency are big values that Nigerians always talk about.
That's right.
Can I just chip in something? Say what you may about the APC. You have to give it to them with regards to how they have gone out to market the APC and their brand. Maybe that's why someone can claim that they had 40 million and they have 10 million now, as a joke. But the truth is that you see them everywhere wearing the cap with the insignia. I haven't seen that much push. I mean, for many reasons, by the opposition party. And one of the reasons is that the opposition parties are in such disarray. They don't even have time to advertise or to sell their parties for people to join. So that's just to say something that, in fairness to them, they have been quite aggressive, militant, intentional about marketing their party and just getting as many people as possible. I know. Is that not APC insignia?
No,
I think they should even change it to their new logo.
No, it is the Tinubu cap. It's the City Boy movement.
So is it APC insignia?
Maybe
where is City Boy?
Is it APC insignia?
No, it's not APC.
Answer the question.
It's City Boy.
It's not APC.
So you're also inferring that they're not really going for APC APC is the person that they're supporting.
Let me tell you, what they are doing is called...
Okay, let's hear the village boy perspective. Because these ones are saying they are city boys.
I'm a proud village boy from Olobolu, so no doubt about that.
Don't worry, I'm a village girl too.
What we are saying is that this is hypocrisy of the highest order. And the truth is, it's just hero worshipping. Because Tinubu is in power and they want to get for him. You remember how they were wearing Buhari's brooch when Buhari was in power too? It's the same thing. So why are we deceiving ourselves?
Maybe some people have the brooch still as some kind of...
there's only one person.
I bet you.
Only Gabashe who has been standing with Buhari since...
The moment President Tinubu is no longer in power, people will throw the cap away and they will move on to the new person. These are the sacrifices you talk about now. So why are we deceiving ourselves?
This is it. And so many souls who turn to polls in Nigerian politics.
No, Gabashe is doing a great job.
We'll take the conversation forward a little bit later. We have so many other stories.
The tenor has, the
has gone.
The tone has changed.
The phones have stopped ringing. Let's move on to more stories. As the Lagos State government has launched a free health and safety program for professional drivers. This targets improved road safety and higher standards of professionalism across the state. So this initiative is designed to just improve driver fitness, promote responsible driving, and reduce crashes, especially among truck drivers. Of course, we know that this has been a big issue of concern here in Lagos State. So good to see that Lagos State has decided to offer some sort of succor and support to drivers. Now, very quickly to our next story. As we get closer to Valentine's Day, Valentine's is coming. Let's briefly head to Abuja, where last Friday culminated a marathon, a week-long series of weddings and events hosted by the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, across the city for 10 of his children. Matawalle, who previously served as governor of Zamfara State, gave out 5 of his daughters and 5 of his sons last week in a mix of tradition and social rites across the city, including Maitama, Mabushi, Asokoro, and Wusetu. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu attended Friday's ceremony representing the Matawalle family, with the officiating imam describing the president as a father of all. Well, also in attendance was the president of Sao Tome and Principe, Carlos Manuel Villanova, the deputy Senate President Jubril Barao, governor of Sokoto State Ahmed Aliu, Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi, and Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris. Ten in one day, huh? What a blessing, isn't it?
That's a very wise financial decision,
I have to say. Yes. All right, being told we're out of time, so let's quickly take our good news report, where today we're celebrating the Nigerian players whose names will forever be written in Super Bowl history, as they were all part of the Seattle Seahawks team that defeated the New England Patriots during Sunday night's game. The Seattle Seahawks' decisive win took place over the weekend at Levi's Stadium in California. And while it's the team's second Super Bowl win, a handful of Nigerian-American players were critical to the team's success this year. Starting with the veteran linebacker Uchenna Nwosu, who was born in California but has often spoken about his Nigerian roots and how they have underscored the values that have driven his career. Boye Mafe was a key figure in the team's defensive unit and was born to Nigerian parents in Minnesota. Then at just 22 years old, Nick Emaori is said to have made immediate impact to the team after being drafted in 2025. Finally, Olusegun Oluwatimi was drafted in 2023. He grew up in Maryland and attended the U.S. Air Force Academy before also getting drafted in 2023.
You're on the top of the world tonight.
Well, congratulations to these incredible athletes once again showing the world that Nigerian excellence on one of the biggest stages in global sports and the impact that so many are making in the diaspora. So congratulations to them. Super Bowl, of course, is huge in the United States, and a lot of people watched from home as well.
Yeah, last year was Moro Jom, and I think that the president's response to him would have also spurred many people to identify with Nigeria.
Yes.
So I'm glad to see these children who were born on American soil now proudly, identifying with their Nigerian roots. Hopefully, would have maybe a state welcome for them too as well, as it did for Moro Jomo last year. But congratulations to them. Thanks for flying the Nigerian flag proudly.
Absolutely. Well, that's a wrap from me here on What's Trending.
And that's all on today's edition of The Morning Show.